Hey, we're back in studio, and the legislature's back as well. Good to be back here in News 9. Let's start with the legislative session, which started this week. The governor gave his State of the State. Your analysis.
Yeah, State of the State was on Monday of this week, and look, there were some things in there that I think every Oklahoman can be excited about. Things like trying to make sure that Oklahoma is a top 10 business state, making sure that there's lots of opportunity both for employees and employers in the state of Oklahoma. There were some things that I think were probably a little unnecessary. Again, taking swipe at sovereign nations here in the state of Oklahoma. Look, here's the deal. At the end of the day, we're all Oklahomans. Our governor says that all the time, but we need to act like it. We need to be at the table, get things done, make sure that we're working together toward the same goal. And then finally, I think there is some issue out there on school vouchers, and that was brought up. Let's make sure our education is top 10 and stop trying to figure out how to bleed money off of it.
Interesting reaction to that. You were there for this. I saw you on TV, by the way. This speech by the governor setting the tone. Your thoughts?
I thought it was a home run. Thought the governor did a great job. Did I agree with every word of the State of the State? Of course not. But I thought overall he did an excellent job. And some real highlights that I thought the governor talked about in the State of the State. One of the big ones was his infrastructure plan. I'm excited that he's laying out a vision to reinvest in infrastructure in the state of Oklahoma. Our transportation system is critical. I love him talking about breaking down silos in education, talking about how we need teachers, healthcare workers. We need more of those STEM fields inside the state of Oklahoma. And I loved him talking about good economic relief and good jobs for all Oklahomans. I think this was a home run. I think he laid out a good plan, more median policy, but I like that.
So remember in poli-sci when Professor Gaddy talked about how in Oklahoma the governor proposes, the legislature disposes? There are two really important people that weren't talked about much the other day. Speaker McCall, Pro Tem Treat. What are they up to this year?
Well, I love the shout out to my old political science professor, Professor Gaddy, who did a great job. Don't ask him stories about me in college. But what I think you're going to see the House proposing, what we want to do is regulate medical marijuana. If you're an illegal grower, we want you out of the state. If you're doing it right, we want you in. We are setting up a path for rural broadband, and we're going to have connectivity in the entire state. We have the best election system in the nation in Oklahoma, and we are going to make it even better. We have election security bills coming out of the House of Representatives, and you're going to see us push workforce development like you've never seen. Those are 4 plans that we are going to be pushing forth the Oklahoma House of Representatives, and I think we're going to get good things done for the state of Oklahoma.
So the Pro Tem and the Speaker have been there longer than the governor. They're the youngest grizzled veterans I know. Your thoughts about the McCall Treat agenda this legislative session?
Well, one thing I would say is both are great men and both have big tasks to lead in their respective sides of the building. But having not ever been a part of that party, I'm not exactly sure what they want to do this session. What I would hope out of both of them is that we would focus on things like education, focus on healthcare. We definitely need to focus on broadband. We need to fix the medical marijuana problems in the state. We need to make sure that it's regulated in a way that my colleague has already said, that those that are doing it legally have room to grow in the business, and those that are not get out of the state. Those are big issues in the state of Oklahoma.
Okay, those are 3 people, you know their names. Coming up, 2 new players at the legislature. You may not know their names, but they're big deals when we come back. A few minutes ago, we talked about some names that you know, but there are 2 new players. Well, they've been there, but they're going to be front and center at the legislative session this year. Your new counterpart at the Senate, Senator Greg Mccourtney, has got a different style than in the past. They're really getting some things done in the Senate. Your thoughts about your colleague across the aisle?
Yeah, so Floor Leader Greg Mccourtney is the new floor leader in the Senate. He's actually the 3rd floor leader I've got to work with during my time as floor leader of the House. Kim David, Greg Treat both did a great job, but Senator McCourtney is going to do a phenomenal job. He's already innovative. He is pushing 2-a-day sessions in the Senate, which I love. He's got 2 really strong deputy floor leaders, Senator James Wright, Senator Lonnie Paxton. As we've said, we've had some fun with each other on Twitter. Here's the deal. Senator McCourtney and I are going to fight when it's time to fight, but we're going to be friends when it's time to be friends and do what's best for the state of Oklahoma. He has my full and complete faith, and I think he's going to do a great job. And if you don't know Senator McCourtney's name, you should. He's a big deal in the state Senate.
You will. He's actually across the building, not across the aisle. You know both of these gentlemen, starting with Senator McCourtney. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I had the pleasure of serving with Senator McCourtney from Ada, Oklahoma for a few years before I exited. And I think what my colleague, Jon Echols, on the other side of me here is saying is he served a long time as floor leader. And what's important to know about floor leader, for those of you at home, floor leader is the one that assigns all the bills to the floor, things that are going to be heard, make sure that everything's free-flowing the way it's supposed to go. It's a very difficult job. It's a lot of high stress. I think Senator McCourtney is up for the job on the Senate side. It's a lot to learn on the job, but I think he's up for it. It's going to be a tough year, an election year, to run the floor in the Senate.
You usually don't hear about two-a-days in February. I see the senator sweating over that thing. All right, Kyle Hilbert, you know him. You both served with this gentleman. He's now been elevated to a top position in the House. Tell us who Kyle Hilbert is and what can we expect?
Yeah, Representative Hilbert also had the opportunity to serve with him from Depew, Oklahoma. A fine young gentleman. He was actually president of the student body at Oklahoma State University. He is not new to politics. He knows what he's doing. He's now become the pro tem of the House of Representatives. And for those of you, again, at home that are unsure what pro tem does, pro tem is the one that sets the agenda as far as who's running the floor of the House of Representatives. And that's a big job as well, making sure that everyone's trained to do that. It's not easy, but it's part of the sausage making, and I think he's going to do a great job in that role.
So this is that next generation that's been coming. You guys are not going to be around forever. So Kyle Hilbert is one of those. Tell us about what you know about your friend, Representative Hilbert.
Well, it is. If I'm an old man, legislatively speaking, in my time as floor leader, Representative Hilbert is a young gun and doing a great job. He was just elected pro tem, as he said, from Depew, Oklahoma. He has got a great reputation as a policy wonk. He was our budget vice chair of our A&B committee. Stellar reputation, has been involved in tough issues, ran some incredible bills, put more money in education funding through the Red Bud Fund. What we have in Kyle Hilbert and Pro Tem Hilbert is a real policy wonk that's going to take his job very, very serious. State of Oklahoma is in good hands, and the House is in good hands, and new Pro Tem's going to do a great job.
He's a good one. They both are. Senator McCourtney, too. It's going to be an interesting future. See this again at news9.com/YourVoteCounts, and follow me on Twitter @MitchellTalks.